Guys, so I'm going to tell you why I moved from Carrickmines. I used to live in Carrickmines for about 9 years of my life, and I moved out. That's where my mother lives, and I find that the people in Carrickmines were a little bit snobby. It is expensive area, to be honest, affluent, and yeah, I think the people there they had a problem with me. But they're very passive aggressive about it. Like they never talked to me about it, but I always got the idea that they always viewed me as being like lower class or something like that. You know, and yeah, I don't know what that is. No one ever told me these reasons, but like I have a few theories in my head. Number one, I used to be a distance runner, and I think the people in that area they view like distance running as being like inferior or something, and which is a bit harsh because that was the only thing I was ever really good at. Still to this day, it's the only thing I've ever really been good at. I still wouldn't consider myself to be a good YouTuber. Not yet, anyway. Hopefully, I'll get there eventually. Uh, I'd say you probably have to have at least like 1,000 subs to consider yourself to be a good YouTuber. But anyway, so yeah, they just didn't seem to like me running for some reason. I used to get weird reactions from people, a few angry looks, and I'm not sure why that was. I mean, I'm not robbing the shop, am I now? I don't know. Never gave me an explanation. It's kind of annoying. I mentioned the strange old man in my area raising his nose at me and stuff like that, and I just kind of thought that Carrickmines was just not a friendly area. But I shaved my head in 2017, and for some reason people started treating me differently. Like that strange old man in my area who'd raise his nose at me and give me angry looks. I mentioned this before. I was cycling to a cross country race in the Phoenix Park, and he was standing in his front garden, and I was trying to avoid making eye contact with him because I always saw him as being like a grumpy prick. But then I saw him like smile at me through my peripheral vision and fold his arms, and it was very strange. He was like, and I think it's because I had my head shaved, he didn't recognize me. He thought I was a different person, a non-runner. And yeah, I mentioned that before. And when I had my head shaved, people just seemed so friendly towards me. Everyone was saying hello to me when they walked past me on the streets. And as soon as my hair started to go back, then they kind of just started to ignore me again. And yeah, I started to realize that no, that area is a friendly area. They just don't like me for some reason. After that, after learning the hard truth, I felt very resentful towards those kind of people. And also, I was unemployed as well. I think maybe it had something to do with it. Um, for the first 3 years after I left school, I was in like a PLC course, college course, and yeah, I never worked a job on the side or anything. So I don't know, but I in 2018 I finished, and I didn't really gain much from that experience. I went because I was pretty much forced to go. I was sort of brainwashed into thinking if you don't go to college, life is over. And so yeah, I think I left school in 2018. I left college in 2018, and I was unemployed for a good year before I got that job at McDonald's. So for the last 10 months that I lived in Carrickmines, I was working at the local McDonald's. But to be honest, I don't think that changed people's opinion of me very much. And I just found that very frustrating because even like before I was on went through that period of unemployment, even when I was in full time education, I still got the idea that people like hated me for some reason, and I don't know. I heard that like apparently my mother is known as the pig lady because she bought a pig, which I thought was really stupid. When I was 18, she drove up to Dundalk. I just finished an exam, one of my Leaving Cert exams. My mother picks me up and says, "Oh Mark, we're going up to Dundalk to buy the pig." And I'm like, "Why would you buy a pig?" And so we went up, we bought the pig, and we had him as a pet. And mother says, "Oh, he's a therapy pet," which I thought was really stupid. Like, how does a pig make you? Why do you need a pig as a therapy pet? And why do you need therapy in the first place? I certainly don't. Um, but anyway, so she had the pig in the garden in a city house, which I thought was really stupid. And yeah, so I think maybe that was one reason they didn't like me. They kind of associated me with the madness. We eventually got rid of the pig and sold him to some farmer in Cavan. Um, but yeah, that was very stupid. So look, a few different reasons why I'm not sure. Anyway, I felt as if there was nothing I could do. People there just hated me, and I didn't feel comfortable with being hated for no reason. So I got the job at the local McDonald's. I saved up and I left. Even when I was unemployed, you have to remember, had a very low IQ. It was very difficult to work a job. When I got that job at McDonald's, very difficult, head wrecking stuff. I did manage to keep my job, but I felt like it was probably a close decision. It was probably like a borderline decision whether they're going to keep me or not keep me. But I did manage to keep the job. I worked there for a while and I eventually moved out. I moved to Goatstown in February 2020. Lived there for 7 months. Then I moved to Shankill for 3 months. And since January 2021, I've been living in East Wall. And out of all those three places I've lived in, Goatstown, Shankill, East Wall, I haven't noticed any snobbery or any of that kind of crap from anyone. I just feel like I'm just another person living in the area. I'm almost like invisible to people. But yeah, Carrickmines was a very strange place, and why the hell did he hate distance runners? I've no idea. Surely running should be encouraged among people, and I felt like I could go running anywhere in Dublin, but Carrickmines was the only place where I'd get these kind of reactions from people. I remember the postman used to stare at me as if he felt there was something wrong with me. I remember I was running past him one day on my road. I was about to wave and say hello. He kind of just looked away and ignored me, and I was like, ah, feck it, I won't bother saying hello then. And then I stopped, and I turned. When I ran past him, I stopped. I turned around, and I see the postman staring down at my legs like. I mean, it's as if he never seen a person out running before. I'm like, really? This guy, he must be like in his 50s. He's not. He has grey hair. He's not that young. I would have thought that he would have known that people go out running sometimes. I would have thought that he would have grown up in the 80s generation where, Irish distance runners were, famous, well known. They competed in world championships and Olympics and they were very successful. Because I heard that, back then, like, everyone knew who the top Irish runners were back in, like, the 80s. It's different now. Nobody knows who the top runners are anymore. you know. But like, I don't understand how someone could find it so strange that someone goes out running, you know. And look, I don't run anymore, but even if I still lived in Carrickmines and I hadn't run for like a year and a half, I still think they'd probably view me the same way. They'd be like, "Oh, it's that guy who goes out running. Oh, what a weirdo, loser," something like that. I don't know. They never gave me heads up. They never told me, "Oh, what sports I could do and what sports I couldn't do." I just find that frustrating. So yeah, moving out I felt was the only real option. And look, I feel like physical activity is something that should be encouraged, even if you're at a low standard. I wasn't at low standard. I was running, 15 minutes and 20 seconds for 5k, which is decent, but it won't be fast enough to get like media attention or anything like that. It's not that fast, but still, I'm glad that I moved out. Moving out from a snobby area, it's not going to solve all your problems in life, but it will make your life a little bit easier. And to this day, I still feel quite angry and resentful towards these people. If you are from that area, Carrickmines Wood or the Park Cabinteely, one of those two estates, and you know why people did not like me, feel free to comment in the comment section below. I've no idea why. Hopefully, if I get more of a subscriber base, hopefully I'll find someone who will tell me and give me an explanation. But I don't know why. They're just very snobby, very high standards. Maybe it's the clothes I was wearing weren't good enough. I used to wear my runners until they were completely ripped apart because, I used to buy Nike runners back then. I used to run a lot, so I used to run like 90 miles a week. So my shoes be ripped apart, completely ripped apart before I go to the shop buy another one. Okay, is that one of the reasons? The clothes I was wearing? I don't know, but certainly I feel like, it's not good nowadays that people don't know their neighbours and their neighbours are so snobby and judgmental. I think we need to cop on as a society, if you know what I mean. And even one time I was working, I think this was in like maybe January or February. I was working at Spar in D'O'Leary Street in the city centre, and one of the Tesco workers, who's a woman who must be in her 50s, came in, and she came up to me and asked me for rolls or something. And then she saw it was me, and she cringed and turned away and walked out the door. She's like, oh.
And as she was walking out the door, I said to her, "Is there anything else I can help you with?" And she turned around and she looked at me. She's like, turned around and walked away. And I'm like, Jesus, man, like why do you hate me so much? Honestly, maybe you hated me because I was unemployed, but at that moment in time, I was employed by Spar. So surely it's what you're doing in the present moment that matters the most. All right. I don't know. I feel like I should have moved out of that area earlier.